Brigadier Patriotic. He will talk about ideological study groups and then officially close this dialogue for today. You're welcome, sir.
Karibu sana.
Let's stand up and pray. Do some little exercise, right? Been seated for a long time. So we are going to stretch our hands up, both of them, and we say work. Say work. Stretch them sideways and say service. Service. No. This one, this. When you put them down, say sacrifice. Okay?
Service.
Master.
Service.
Master. I once attended the conference addressed by a lawyer, a social scientist, and a doctor. The first to address the conference was the lawyer. He spoke very well and moved the audience. Then after, of course, he had a standing ovation for the good things that he said. Next was the social scientist. He talked very well, he also had a standing ovation. And when the time for the doctor came, he was worried. We doctors are not good at speech, at talking. So he said to them in trouble. But when he gained the courage, he said, okay, guys, I know I can't talk like you, but also in my field, when you come to my clinic and your women are pregnant and you have brought them for delivery, I will address them and pass over the bills to you. So, talking after these two gentlemen, the professor and the comrade of Dauk, is an uphill task. But I'm not going to impress anybody so you shouldn't feel. But time is gone, I will not delay you. My name is Brigadier Patrick. And as we've been told, I'm the commissioner in charge of this program. I'm 2 years now heading this program. First of all, I'm very happy to have you here, and I'm very glad that you came in the numbers that we had planned for. Thank you very much. We had feared that many of you are in the holidays, but this shows that you are hungry for knowledge and you are willing to be mentored.
Asante sana.
At this rate, I think we are going to do well, and I think we have a future together. Starting with the basics, let me share my number also. 0247 647 225. 0247 647 225. It's a WhatsApp number. And you can always put it there. This talk, we have invited Comrade Brigadier general must go. The chief political council will be here to have a variety, because I've been with you most of the time, many of you, and you want to have a variety. He got other assignments, and I am standing in for him. But I'm supposed to talk about ideology and think tanks. How does ideology fit in the assignment that we are going to do, thinking for the nation? There are many definitions of ideology, many dictionaries, many people have defined ideology differently, most especially depending on where they come from. And ideology actually is related to where you come from. But I will just use one of them, that an ideology is a set or a system of beliefs, of convictions, of ideas, of values that guide political action. A set or a system of beliefs, of convictions, of values, which have been crystallized for a long time by a group of people, or even an individual, for the purpose of guiding them to do what they have to do in the management of society. An ideology is as a result of a long experience, of a long human experience, what a society has gone through. Those ideas are crystallized out of the beliefs that they believe in, the values that have been crystallized out of those beliefs, and the attitudes. And they form a system. They form principles that are going to guide what they are going to do, and even how they are going to do it. What is going to be their priorities in ensuring that their programs are effective. What are they going to do first, second, and last? You heard of 5-year programs, 10-year programs, 15-year programs. Those programs are made out of the system, out of the ideology that the ruling party or the ruling government has crystallized over time. So an ideology is a set of guiding principles. They guide you what you do and how you are going to do it, and what you are going to prioritize, what you are going to do last. An ideology must be communicated. Once you have crystallized it, it must be popularized. The nation must know your set of beliefs and what you want to do. That is why in most nations, leaders even go to the extent of interning people and killing them for the sake of passing on their ideologies. Like Chairman Mao. In inculcating the communist ideology in China, the people who tried to resist, in most cases, were eliminated. So was in Russia, so was in Cuba, so was in most of the communists. But also, not only in the communist nations, but in the capitalist nations. Ideologies were born out of a long time of struggle in which groups had to coerce others to believe or to have to follow their set of beliefs. us, an ideology must be inculcated. That's why we come here to enlighten ourselves on what we believe in as people who are in control of power, and what we want to do, and how we want you to come in so that what we believe in is done for the betterment of our country. If you want to be leaders in the future, don't just join leadership without convictions. You need to be convinced about certain ideas that are true. Truth. Ideas crystallized out of objectivity, out of reality, the realities of life. So, I may like an ideology, for instance, to a mirror. A mirror. An ideology helps you to channel those things that you need to do, the good things that you need to do for your people, and those that you don't need to do. So when you sit in front of a mirror, and your eyes have what we call a rose, one of the local dialects. The rose are those white substances that form in the ends of your eyes, especially when you have sat for a long time, or slept for a long time. So you remove them so that other people may not see you as maybe careless or dirty or negligent. So an ideology is like a mirror. It helps you to get out the bad things, or even to know the bad things that have been done in the past, so that they are not repeated. There are two general types of ideologies. The first one being the extreme ideologies, what we call the right wing. Right-wing ideologies, and then the left-wing ideologies, or the conservative ideologies. Conservative ideologies are those where people want to maintain the status quo, especially where they have popular support from the people. Extreme ideologies are usually group ideologies, not shared by the majority of the people. You have heard about radical ideologies, for instance, the fundamentalist ideologies in the Middle East. And every society, according to its culture, according to its beliefs and convictions, therefore crystallize its unique ideology. Out of that, there are 4 categories of ideologies. The first one is the conservative ideology. Then the radical ideologies. Then there is an intermediate ideology, and a progressive or revolutionary ideology. The progressive ideology is one that is mostly working for the interests of the majority of the people. It's like a national ideology. Most of the people believe in it and follow it. An extremist or radical ideology is, in most cases, an ideology espoused by a group of people who believe in extremist means of solving problems. Like the Islamist fundamentalists who believe that to get power, to exert their influence, they must kill indiscriminately and cause fear and tension, and then the rest of society will follow them. Conservative ideologies are those most which are based on inherited leadership, like the monarchies. And they are also fighting to maintain the status quo. But revolutionary progressive ideologies are always wanting to overturn this one and take over. So do we have an ideology in our country? We have an ideology in our country, yes, we do. And this ideology is premised on 4 principles. The first one being patriotism, which you know very well. The second one is Pan-Africanism. The third one is socio-economic transformation. And the fourth one, democracy. These 4 principles have been crystallized out of the original 10-point program of the nationalist movement, which was formulated in the Bush struggle. Later on, you may have heard that it was increased to 15, expanded to 15 points, but now we have contracted it to 4 points. And as I talk now, these are the ideological principles that guide what we have to do politically, economically, socially, culturally, and so on. These are the 4 principles that guide it. So, how do they plug in the study groups? First of all, what is the importance of an ideology? An ideology crystallizes ideas that you need in the running society. An ideology helps mobilize the people. You can't mobilize the people based on obscurantist ideas or principles. You can mobilize them, but you will not sustain that mobilization. You need a progressive ideology, therefore, in order to convince the people that those principles are an inescapable imperative in their social economic transformation. An ideology brings people together. An ideology, therefore, must be inculcated nationally. Every citizen must be convinced. But you must start from a small group of candidates. So in order to inculcate an ideology, you must start with a group of people who are convinced, who have understood it, internalized it, and are convinced that it's the right thing to do. And we are here today in a bid to include you in our cadre, in the vanguard of our cadre, who are going to do this work, and who are going to take over when we retire, when we go away. Now, this ideology cannot be concretized unless people come together. When our president was still a student at Dar es Salaam University, then in the 1960s, 1963, I think up to 1965, they had a group, a study group known as the Revolutionary African Students Organization. Revolutionary African Students Organization. And the purpose was to study and concretize an ideology that which each one of them would go back and mobilize the people around. In that group, there were John Garang. And John Garang, you know what he did. He became an important man, a revolutionary in Bareta. There were other people from Zimbabwe who were part of the Zimbabwe African National Union, and I think one of them is the current president. There were other important people who became important statesmen. So, the purpose of the study group is to concretize an ideology which tomorrow you must, or the one that's going to help you run the affairs of the nation. When you look at the people who are surrounding the president, most of them have been with him in the study group, or they have been together in school. Ghana school, Paris school, Dar es Salaam University. Unless we bring you together, there is no way we are going to concretize this system of convictions which is going to be your peer. That's why you must come together. That's why you must discuss. Unless you discuss, there is no way you are going to discover the comrades who think like you. There are no way that you are going to discover comrades who have potential to be leaders tomorrow. That's how the president identified his colleagues, so many embarrassing. The group is gone. So you are being here together. It's not a fashion. It's not a fashion. Years from today. Years from today, you are going to be the people in different areas of leadership of this nation.
Asante sana.
But that will happen only if you stay together. If you concretize ideas together, positive ideas, a progressive ideology. Other people have ideologies as well. You know we have different parties in our country. They also have ideologies. They have ideas which they believe in. But they are not progressive ideologies. They don't espouse social progress. If you examine them, I think you know them. I don't have to dwell on them so much. You know how DP was formed as a party for Catholics. UPC as a party for Protestants. Is the Kabaka still alive?
No.
Eh?
No.
No, it's there. Blue Charles is still on.
No.
It was disbanded? Yes. You know how FDC was formed? FDC. Its agenda, its ideology is to remove Museveni. To remove Museveni from power. I have never heard of what they want to do after him. And the others are coming down. But their ideology is to remove Museveni from power. I have not known what they want to do after that. So we don't know their program. We don't know what they want to do for this country. So, in your study groups, make sure you are congregating to concretize what is already in place, but also to concretize other ideas which you think are going to be relevant in the future. Uganda, I told you we started with 10, we expanded 15, we have come back to 4. These are relevant today. They may not be relevant in 10 years to come or 20. Are we together? Who is going to concretize them? It's you. But you can't concretize an ideology unless you have positive mindset. Positive mindset. Positive values, positive beliefs, positive attitudes. And those ones are inculcated also. They don't just fall in you like that. I always say, if you have twins and you take one to China and one to the US, and you bring them together after 10 years, will these people be the same? They will not. But because we come from different backgrounds, different areas, different shades of opinion, different religions, different education, different everything. We are different. So study groups are going to help us to harmonize all these views that each one of us espouses. It's to bring together this knowledge that you will acquire. The doctors, the engineers, the lawyers, bring them together and concretize the things, the first programs you have to do when you are in charge. It is these study groups that are going to make you, to sharpen you, to come out with those ideas that are real, that are concrete, that are based on the objective analysis of the conditions that you will be living in at that time. The previous speaker told you about objective reality and then the historical analysis. 10 years or 20 years from today, history will be different. Uganda will have very different history. So you will need to shape ideas based on what has changed. Today we have 4 principles, maybe tomorrow you will need 8, or you will need 1, according to what has transpired. But that cannot be concretized if you don't come together. 2, if you don't have a positive mindset. And that is what the first principle is about, patriotism. To make sure that all Ugandans love themselves, love their country, have good values, have discipline, have manners, are good. That's what the previous people are telling you. Be humble, be accommodative, be non-sectarian. If you are sectarian, you can't build a progressive ideology. If you believe in tribe, for instance, I tried this with supreme, I tried with the best, I tried this. And you never be progressive, and even if you become a cabinet minister, you will do different things that don't build the country. So, we need to share our values, to share our beliefs, to share our attitudes and our convictions in order to concretize a progressive or revolutionary ideology. This party is going to eschew reactionary ideologies or actually retrogressive ideologies. Cannot form good entities for the leadership of our nation. It started 3 years. It has been there. UPC has been there. All these parties are coming out. But who knows what they want to do? I'm asking you now. Who knows the program of UPC, for instance? Who has heard about what they want to do? You have UPC fellows here. Eh? What do they want to do? DP, what do they want to do? All of them have one common objective: to remove NIL from power. And they have educated people. They are people who are educated. And I don't know why up to now they can't concretize a good, a progressive ideology. So, for you who are young and are yearning for the truth, what is happening? If you are not well mentored, actually, then you become subjects of the progressive ideology. That's why you hear others, they are saying people power, our power. But there is nothing beyond. People power, nothing beyond. You will not really go beyond that. So you become victims of such shallow and narrow ideologies. So it's incumbent upon us to mobilize our colleagues. That's why we call you here. To go and establish study groups in different institutions. Those who don't have have them. I know that some of you have strategies. But make them active. Make them active. Recruit deeper. Go deeper. If you have been, at this superficial level, we want you to structure these strategies now. Have groups that go down to the classroom. Even in the classroom, have people there who share common ideas. From the classroom, you go to the faculty. Have a strategy that share common ideas and that we always come together to discuss those issues. From faculty, I don't know you go to where. College, or the college is the faculty. You go to the school. Have a structure there. And then have this general structure now, which looks after the other small. A structure now that brings all of you together. And put on regular times when you have to meet and discuss. And always have topics, good topics to discuss. And we are there to guide you. We are there to guide you. That's why we are there. To guide you. We have not been doing much, not because that's what we wanted, but because of our limited mandate. Our mandate limited us to secondary schools and gave us little space in higher institutions of learning. As a result, we spend resources. We could not be allowed to spend resources in higher institutions of learning. But the self-representative committee of the movement, the last time sat in Chobe, and they decided that we can go higher.
Asante sana.
So now we are going to make higher institutions of learning our priority on top of having the secondary schools. So we are going to see us. But the most important thing, like the previous speaker said, is don't sit and wait for us. You call us if you have a program, if you have a challenge, if you want to do something, involve us. Our offices are open, come anytime and discuss with us. There are people who are really that kind of come. And we've been working together at that level where we don't need to spend a lot of resources. I want to start with people who entered the other three institutions, the theology, surveys, and fisheries.
Asante sana.
Yes, very active. And the system, they have put a system in place where one group goes away, it hands over to another group. I want to thank them for that, really. Thank you, the institution. So let's do that also, that we have a system where if this group is signing out, then we are handing over to another group. And not simply finish, you go, and then nothing more happens. Like it happened in Mkumba in the past. We have somebody from Mkumba here. Mkumba. Yes, Mkumba. The last 2 years, there was a gap. I don't know why. But I think it was because of lack of a system where people go and leave others behind. And I'm sure you started from nowhere. You're exploring. Yeah. You're exploring. So let's have systems. Let's have systems. There are some issues that I wanted to time. I want to have your opinion on having a patriotism day, like we have national days. presidency, can we have the patriots living in our country, and the country knows it, and on this day we do great things, the country will see, and actually, because of that, then the people can know what is happening, what is taking place. I will need your ideas on that. When can this day be, and what are the activities we can do? Now that space has been opened for us, I want to have many activities organized with you. First of all, I want to have an alumni gathering or catch-up, where all of us who have been in practicing clubs, in practicing groups, whether you are still at university or born, all of us can come together and we say, here we are. We've been there, we are still there. And I was sharing with the coordinator, Solomon, that we tend to build capacity. We tend to build capacity, especially starting with the people, the leaders. The leaders of faculty groups in the university. The leaders who can slot it, the leaders of DRSs, and these leaders. And we have capacity building training, either around or in Champagne, whichever will be possible. I think Champagne is preferred. So as we get grounded on the issues of practice, the issues of Pan-Africanism, our ideology. So as we get grounded, so as we are not veered from what is good for our country. Our national interest, very, very important. And of course we are vulnerable because, like other Africans, our experiences, our education, our culture has inculcated in us mindsets that may be a hindrance to achieving what we have to achieve. Mindsets that may be a threat to the forward advancement of our ideas. And once for actually puts forward these mindsets, the first one being the victim mentality. In Africa, when we don't succeed, when we do badly, we tend to find someone to blame, a scapegoat. When things don't work, it's either government, or it's this minister, or it can even be the neighbor who is bewitching you. Yeah. My neighbor bewitches me, so I'm not doing well. And therefore, I must go and see what the judge has to tell me. Then you take your goat and they eat it, and they lie to you. Yes. The other one is, elitism. The professor was talking about it in the afternoon. African intellectuals. African intellectuals are aloof to ideological development, and they are apathetic to political issues. They don't want to be involved with politics because they have defined it wrong. They think politics is the dirty game, and therefore they are learned and they have to be involved with something that is a dirty, that solves their name, their intellectual capacity, their intellectual statement. And because of that, we have dramatists and musicians in charge of our political affairs. Yes, that's one reason why you should be involved. Don't even miss work for peasants and dramatists. You must be involved. The other one is, of course, the copycat mentality. In the our education system teaches us to copy. To copy, and the copy. To Quran and the past year. To copy what other people have written. We don't want to put forward our ideas and stand by them and defend them. So we are copycats of foreign ideas. Even culturally, socially, economically, we want to copy what other people, especially those who have succeeded out there, without even asking whether they contribute to our advancement, progress, or not. We copy. So the other mindset is the Hadism mindset. Hadism, we always want to work in groups because we have no confidence in ourselves. The other one is inferiority complex. Like the previous speaker said, we were told that we are inferior. We were given foreign names. Our geography was changed and named after foreign rulers. So you can see up to now, because of this kind of negative mindset, it's very difficult for us to change such things. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. For instance, why have we failed to throw the name Red Victoria or Red Edward or Red Edward and call them what our ancestors used to call them? Very difficult. Some apologists are saying, no, you will kill what you don't know. I don't think so. Because those who come to see our features don't come because they are named according to their names. They come because the features are beautiful to behold. Yes? Because of this negative mind, we can't change it. Our education curriculum, we can't see. We can't change it. We are struggling. We are struggling. And when we want to do it, we call those who left it here to come and help us. And what they do, they keep on making us protect. They make us protect. So, study groups will be very, very important instruments in concretizing the ideas that we have in our heads, in mobilizing Ugandans, in converting those who are lost in different ideologies, so that we can have a better country, so that we can advance national interests instead of individual interests. Every other regime espouses a dominant ideology. So our purpose is to make sure we convert people into the things that we believe in a positive ideology that's now in charge of affairs in this country. An ideology is not a fashion. It's for rallying people towards development programs. That's why you see the president is moving around the country telling people how to get out of poverty. Because operation wealth creation, because he's convinced that that's the best way we can liberate our people from poverty. That's why we have elections every 5 years. Because we think that's how we can interpret the character of democracy in our country. And of course, the other freedoms that are bound, which we are actually abusing because we have forgotten our history. Therefore, the struggle ahead of us may not be that easy. It involves changing people's views, changing people's convictions, and that's the hardest thing to do. You know, when you are fighting, The struggle of guns is simple. Because you identify the position of the enemy and you shoot him down. And when you shoot him, he doesn't come back again. But the struggle of the mind is the most difficult, because to change someone from what he is convinced about and what he has known for a long time is not easy. So we have to work very hard. We must help Ugandans to embrace programs that are going to help them get out of poverty, to help them espouse the freedoms that are bound today, and not take this freedom for granted. It can be taken away in a moment. And this freedom came out of the sweat and blood of patriots, and that it will take similar sacrifices in order that this peace and freedom prevails. We have a threat of imperialism today, and it's upon us to make sure that we stop it. The professor talked about it, and the previous speaker. Imperialism is here to water down what you are doing, even to water down your ideology. It is upon us to make sure we concretize our ideology and talk against imperialism. Imperialism is here to plunder, to destroy, to steal from you. So it is high time we woke up and did the right thing. It is you who are going to lead the struggle. It is you who should discover your mission. Like the previous speaker said, you have to discover your mission from obscurity and fulfill it or betray it. It is you who is going to make this country better than you have found it. Society will judge you if you let this country slide back. And I want to say that it is you who can make yourself that important person to transform this nation. In 1991, I was still a young man. I was still a second lieutenant, like a musician. The second lieutenant puts only one down my heel. I was still young. I remember I was a political commissar of the Presidential Protection Unit in State House. By 1991, actually, our revolution was facing problems of corruption, of mismanagement. And I had seen, and I had studied previous revolutions, and I had seen that if we didn't stop that, the people of Uganda were going to overthrow us in less than 10 years. And I wrote a thesis, which I shared with late General Roda, who was the intelligence officer of the unit. And later on, he shared it with the president. In my thesis, I said that the key question of any revolutionary struggle is to capture power and keep it. You are not worthy of being called a revolutionary if you capture power and lose it in a very short time. That was the main thread of my thesis. And we were about to lose touch. And at that time we had very many rebel groups in our country fighting to remove us. And those who were, in charge of things were letting loose. And I remember in less than a year, I began to see reforms being made in the army, being made in politics. Make sure that our ideology gets entrenched in the population and that we build a strong army that is able to defend our country. And that is how we have reached here. you can think and put down ideas to transform the nation. And these ideas can catapult you into a position that you never believed. So when you see that I'm putting on this stars now, it's out of struggle. It's not because, like people want to say, that the Banyankole have taken over the helm of the army. The obscurantists who want to twist the cause of history. In the end, when you do something, you are rewarded. When you achieve, you are rewarded. Even society, that's why we will reward you as a hero if you do great things. Let these study groups catapult you into tomorrow's heroes and great leaders. The honors is on your table. Go back and excel. We are here. We are ready for you. And I have already said that we are going to prioritize higher institutions of learning. So please approach us. Approach us. Let's work together. Let's mobilize this country together. And we will secure our future together. I thank you very much for listening to me. Unless you have questions, we will proceed to another program.
Asante sana.
2 or 3 questions and we finish. There, Maxwell.
Thank you so much, the General and your team. I salute Mr. Solomon, who also is director for this great initiative. My name is Maxwell Gwezi. I am reading social sciences, year 1, Makerere University, and I am the chairman, NRM, Makerere University chapter. Mine is very simple. Sir, in 1900, Uganda was a feudal country. It was a feudal country in the sense that very few and privileged people owned huge chunks of land, and they exchanged this land for homage, security, food, and other privileges. 1962, Uganda was an active economy in the sense that it was a developed area or a small island of development in the midst of a poor area. Now, determined and described by the 3 and 3 T's, the 3 T's and 3 C's, cotton, copper, and coffee, tea, tobacco, and tourism. Now, all those two were steered and championed by the young generations. 1986, all these things had disappeared, and there was a failed state, Uganda. Out of obscurity and darkness, the young people went to the bush, established a generation mission of restoring peace and security in Uganda. And as I talk, border to border, corner to corner, Uganda is peaceful. A question: from your guidance, your support, and your advice, what has gone wrong with our generation? From 1900 up to 2019, what has gone wrong? And in your opinion, sir, what is the generation vision of today? I thank you.
To the House, my name is Brian. I'm the chairperson by the name is entering the campus, but we have handed over to the next speaker. I'm first of all thankful that this study group involves most of the activities we bring, maybe only sitting on the table. I think that's what the institute is going to also consider and connect with the national coordinators. Now my question is on the generational vision, our generational vision. During pioneering of this, we faced a problem whereby as we are inculcating the norms and values of patriotism, there was also a vision of free trade between Africans and the whites. But also following Mugali's speech, that is on the 67th UN Assembly, he confirmed that the whites, what they were looking for in Libya and what they were looking for in Iraq was not restoring peace, as they are saying, but it was because of the oil that is in those countries. So now, to us, should we say our generational vision is to continue inculcating Pan-Africanism with that sense of being against the inferiority complex with the whites, or should we say that our generational vision is to look at how we can establish dialogues and getting to a resolution between the Africans and the whites? And if it is not so, then each other generation shall do that, because now the whites are still on their racist concept, and now as if we also continue like our ancestral Pan-Africanism mindset, it may also take us to racism again. Thank you.
Thank you. The last one. Okay, the lady, we give the chance to the lady. We give the chance to the lady.
Hallelujah.
All these questions shall be answered, but I think if you recap on the afternoon speakers, some of these questions were answered. How secure is Uganda? And my daughter there once insinuated that Uganda may be secure because of accommodating outsiders. It is an international principle that some people are running away from persecution, from war, from torture. Ugandans before have even been accommodated outside this country as refugees. In 1987, 1 year after we had taken over power, we repatriated the entire West Nile population. The entire West Nile population had been exiled and made refugees in Sudan and the Congo by the regime in power then. All of them running away from war, from persecution, because of tribal affiliations. Can the refugees make our country insecure? No, refugees cannot, because they live in a camp and they are monitored. Actually, it's we Ugandans who can make our own country insecure. But I want to say we have not reached there. We are still secure. We are in charge. Our forces are in charge. Our people are in charge. We are not worried about any kind of insecurity. We are worried about one thing: imperialist infiltration and the perversion of the minds of the Ugandans to rally behind imperialism and overthrow their own beliefs. Generational mission. Has anything gone wrong with this current generation? I may say yes, but I also will say no. What is only wrong is that our generation, because of what we have talked about, the history and all this mindset influences, that influence the mindset, we have information gaps about our country. We have information gaps on what we want. We have information gaps on what we want to do. So that is the area, as we discussed, that we need to dwell most, that we need to change the way people look at themselves, the way they interpret the situations around, and how they want to go about it. Your mission as the current generation is, first of all, to make sure that all Ugandans are patriotic and that they love themselves, they love their country, and they have the will to defend it. They have the will to defend it. When Israel is attacked, and it has been attacked 3 times, by all its neighbors, there is no single Jew who runs away. They all stay to defend their country. If we were attacked today by our neighbors, would we run away or we would stay to defend ourselves? What would we do? I'm asking you. You would stay. Are you sure? Then, if you stay and you take up arms to defend yourselves, then you will have discovered your mission. Secondly, your generation is to make sure that all Ugandans are free from poverty. Yes. Your generation's mission is different from ours. Ours was to recapture state power from the hands of imperialist collaborators, and we did that, and we have established the basis upon which we can take over. So, your generation mission is to make sure you empower all Ugandans to love and defend their country and to free themselves from poverty. Your generation mission is to rally other Africans to defend themselves as Africans from the threat of imperialism. Your generation mission is to establish a democratic system that is commensurate with your culture, with your beliefs, with your values, and not commensurate to the systems of foreign countries as they would want to impose their democracy on us. It is fallacious to copy wholesale democratic systems established on different cultures and different values and insert them in your system, which is diametrically different from the other systems. That's why it is important for you to study your society, to be a student of your society, and arm yourselves with a revolutionary or progressive ideology in order to transform your country so that you become a nation that is the first world like others have done. I thank you for coming to be with us, to identify yourself with us. I thank Solomon and the group who mobilized you. Now we know ourselves. We have your names now, we know where you come from. organizing Winsha to form a team, not a team, a WhatsApp group, so that you keep in touch with your sons and not lose your sons. We are going to organize training for you. We are going to make sure that we regularly meet. And finally, together, we will transform Uganda. God bless you.
Asante sana. Yongeza tena.
It is therefore my pleasure to close this workshop and wish you a safe journey back to your destination.
Thank you, sir. There is some small administrative function that is supposed to be carried out, but I think they will be calling leaders with the students they came with. And then those who are not on there, there is a new WhatsApp group for coordinators. Kindly join that group. If you have not yet joined, then you look for Mr. Commission.